Hey guys, it's Shelly, and I'm gonna make a kind of a rant video. I know that I said in my last video that I would be reacting to cringy music please, but that's just gonna be the next video, I promise. But I just was on my personal Facebook page and saw an article that just really made me mad. About 5.5 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure all of you knew that in Parkland, Florida, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School had a massacre, and one student is trying to make a campaign, which I totally respect. Like, he's trying to make a campaign for, like, mental illnesses and past charges or past criminals, like all the bad things and the sicknesses, like psycho sicknesses, to not have a firearm. They're not. He wasn't. The campaign is not going against the Second Amendment. The campaign is not going against the good people who has firearms. It's just going against or trying to not to have ill psycho people or um past criminal ex-criminals or current criminals that just like escape from jail. But that's what the campaign is about. And I don't know if some of my viewers are adults or they just don't understand, but that's what the campaign is about. It's not about taking guns away from that person and that person and that person and that person. It's just about some certain people that are not right in the head or have done bad things in the past should not have a gun, should not have a firearm. That's that. I'm not saying that it's a bad campaign. It's not a bad campaign. It's a good campaign because a student is actually who was traumatized is actually standing up for him and his classmates and his school because we're in 2018 and this was like, how many shootings have we had within 3 months? Going on 4. We've had almost over 30 shootings, school shootings to be exact. Like, I know that I'm gonna get like hate comments after this, and I know I'm gonna be proven wrong. But what I know is that I'm not going against the fact that good people have firearms and they have them locked up and they use them if needed, or if hunters have them. Like, I'm fine with that, but I completely agree with the student who's continuing with this campaign and has talked to our president about it, who has talked to the school board about it, and then the court about it, and then like all these high end community workers to keep this campaign going and try. Like, he's giving it all in his all, and it's just about people who are not right in the head or ex-cons and stuff like that, for them not to have firearms. Hunters and good people, they're fine as long as they don't plan on shooting anyone. That's completely fine. But I completely agree that mental illness people that are really mental illy and ex-cons should not have guns, because you never know what they're capable of. Like Nicholas Cruz, he had a mental illness. And no, I'm not giving him sympathy, and no, I'm not defending him, but he had a mental illness, he had a gun, and he shot up his former high school, which was not right. And he deserves to be in jail for what he's done. He killed children, he killed teenagers over nothing. He just decided one day, and he even made a YouTube comment about it saying that I'm gonna shoot up a school. Like, and that's not one red flag for you? No. But as you can tell by the title of this video, this is for Ted Nuget. On my personal Facebook, I was reading this article, of Ted Nuget. Ted Nuget calls Parkland survivors liars and soulless in an interview. That's what really made me upset. How are you going to call those? And he also called them poor mushy brain children. How are you gonna tell 15, 18-year-old kids, teenagers, that they are liars, soulless, poor, and mushy brained because they were in a shooting? They survived, thank the Lord. Our God has a plan every single day. And I'm not saying that God had this plan for Nicholas to shoot up a school. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he had a plan for every one of those students. And if it was their time to go to heaven, it was their time to go to heaven. And that's sad. Okay? But you cannot just call the survivors liars and soulless. Have you seen the news when it happened? Have you seen the terror in their eyes? Have you seen the Snapchat videos? Have you seen the news videos? Have you seen the cell phone videos that the news have posted all over social media? I've seen them, and it's completely upsetting. It's showing that the kids had terror in their eyes and their voices. They were so scared. They watched their friends being shot, and now since their friends are dead, they miss their friends so god freaking much that they're upset. And now this grown adult decides to call them poor, mushy brain, liar, soulless children, which I disagree with. Yes, all teenagers can be really stupid and liars and all that sorts of stuff. But you're gonna call survivors that? They're not lying about the situation. Clearly, you were in a whole different continent and did not hear about the shooting, which happened 5.5 weeks later, and yet they are still talking about it till this day. They talk about how Nicholas's court is going, and they talked about how his brother went to jail and how his brother got released. I feel bad for his brother because he just probably wanted to see the school and see what his brother did. And they're just putting blame on the brother as well because that's his brother, which is not okay. He's just probably seeing the fact that, oh my Lord, this is what my brother has done to all these people. Took so many lives away from their families. What happened? I miss my brother. And you're gonna arrest him for that? You didn't even let him explain. In court, he's crying because he's being blamed for what his brother's been done. And he's upset because his brother is going to jail. And I don't blame him. If my brother or my family member's in jail for some sort of reason, I would be upset. Don't get me wrong. But I do not blame his brother. I blame the person who shot up the high school. I don't blame his brother. He had nothing to do with it. He just went to the school like a few weeks after the shooting happened and to most likely see what his brother had done outside of the school. And yes, that school has like freaking 10 buildings. Don't get me wrong. But you could have let him explain first. And maybe he wanted to say sorry because he feels so sorry for those children who have died and lost everything and don't experience adulthood. But back to Ted Nuget. If you don't know who he is, he's basically a National Rifle Association board member and classic rocker. That sorts of stuff. He made these comments came from during an interview from the Joe Pags show, which is a national syndicated conservative conservative radio program. So these are what he says. And this is quoting on what he says. All you have to do now is not only feel sorry for the liars, but you have to go against them and pray to God that the lies can be crushed and the liars can be silent, and so that the real measures can be put into place to actually save children's lives. Nuget said about the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School students. These poor children, I'm afraid to say this, and it hurts me to say this, but the evidence is irrefutable. They have no soul, he added. Okay, if it hurts for you to say this, of calling them liars, then why are you saying it anyway? Try being in that school on Valentine's Day and in a classroom scared for your life. I can't imagine myself in my high school locked in a door or locked inside of a classroom scared for my life. These kids were texting their parents. These kids were literally texting their parents and siblings saying, if I don't make it out of this school, I love you and I will see you in heaven. I'll see you soon. That's just, and you're saying it hurts you to say this? Don't say it. What happens if your kid was at that school? Would you say it then? Because if your kid's alive, is she called a liar too because she's a survivor? Let's just process that. If he had a daughter and she was in that school and is a survivor, is she a liar too if she was a survivor? Or is that just all the children except for her? Or that child? I'm not saying that this is true, like he has a kid. I'm just saying hypothetically. And for the Parkland survivors out there, I give props to you for standing up for you and your school and your classmates and the ones who passed away, and try and get gun laws reevaluated for only the people who are not mentally ill and ex-cons. Only for the people who will treat firearms properly. And I give you props of keep doing this campaign over and over and over again, and you guys are not giving up. And I give you props again. A week later after the shooting, you guys go back to school. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I give you props for being so brave and so stand strong and so much. Like, you took everything in your power and you were like, you know what? Yes, he killed my friends. Yes, he shot up my school. But I need to finish my high school year to succeed in life and still do this campaign. And I give you props for that. I will, if I was able to meet you guys, I would be able to hug you guys. I would be thankful to meet you, and I would support you all the way through because you're doing something that is right. So, continuing with this article, he's quoting again the lies from the left, the lies from these poor, mushy-brained children who have been fed lies and parrot the lies. They are actually committing spiritual suicide because everything they recommend will cause more death and mayhem, guaranteed, Nuget said. Later in the interview, radio host I'm just going to say his first name, showed him clips of a survivor, David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez, railing against the NRA on CNN. I've seen Emma, I think I said her name right. I've seen David Hogg, and I've seen I seen Emma Gonzalez, and when I saw that video, when she stood there silent for those minutes of the shooting, I've cried. And David is still fighting, and I give them both props. They are standing up for what's right. So, and you're going to judge them for standing up what's right? That's just not right at all. Quoting what he says again, the dumbing down of America and manifested in the culture deprivation of our academia that have taught these kids the lies, media that have prodded and encourage and provide these kids lies. I feel sorry for them because it's not only ignorant and dangerously stupid, but it's soulless, Nuget said after watching the videos. How is it soulless and stupid? Please, Ted, explain this to me. How is that soulless and stupid? 17 kids died that day. Some were injured, and some are actually going back to school, also making a campaign because they're strong and they're tired of these school shootings happening. So how is that stupid? How is that soulless? How are they lying? You were not in that school. You did not watch some of your friends die like some of those kids did. Quoting again, to attack the good, law-abiding families of America when well-known, predictable murderers commit these horrors in category of soulless, he added. In a response, Nuget also defended the NRA. Quoting, the level of ignorance goes beyond stupidity. Again, the National Rifle Association are a bunch of American families who have a voice to stand up for our God-given, constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms, Nuget said. Like I said, the campaign is for men's not right in the head and ex-con people not to have bear arms. It's not everyone in the whole entire universe. It's just for those category of people. If you watch the video, if you watch David Hogg's interview very closely and you heard very closely like I did, you wouldn't be saying this stuff. You wouldn't have been calling them liars. You wouldn't be calling them mushy brain, poor, stupid, soulless children. Nugent's comments about the students drew backlash online. Good. Several Parkland survivors took to Twitter and demanded an apology. Good. They need it. Like, you're not gonna bash 15 to 18-year-old children who've been through so freaking much. You weren't there, like I said. If you listen closely to David Hogg's interview, he said what the campaign was about. And I just said what it's about too. And yeah, and David, and plus Fox 6, one of their news anchors tweeted on Twitter something that was irribly rude and made David Hogg really mad, and it demanded an apology. And she apologized. Quoting, if only he saw all the tears. Quoting, if only he saw all the tears, if only he had to look into the eyes I've looked into. If he only saw what this did to all of us, Junior Cameron Caskey tweeted. And here the NRA is receiving more fear-based donations than ever. Talk about no soul. This guy better apologize seriously. Props to you, Cameron, for actually tweeting and tagging him or adding him to apologize. Because he needs to. Carol Powell, a senior, also fired back at Nuget, saying he is acting like a bully to all the student survivors. He is. I completely agree with you, Kira. It's funny how the NRA argues that guns aren't an issue. It's bullying. It's bullying that is. Yet literally the NRA board member is being a five-year-old acting like a bully to me and all the students at Douglas, she wrote. I'll agree with Kira on that. That's how he's acting. Following the June 2017 shooting of Rep. Steve Salkleys, a Louisiana Republican, and others, Nuget told the New York radio station that he would stop the hateful rhetoric. You shouldn't have started it in the first place. You shouldn't. I'm trying so hard not to tear up in anger and sadness, but you shouldn't have started it in the first place. You knew these teenagers were going to read it. You knew that this was going to happen, and you still put fuel to the freaking fire and still made these comments. Quoting, I cannot and will not, and I encourage even my friends / enemies on the left in the Democrat and liberal world that we have got to be civil to each other, he told 77 WABC. Should have thought about being civil to each other before he made comments like that. So that's basically what the article says. Nuget, I know you're not going to watch this, but if you hypothetically are and surprisingly are, keep in mind, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Ears open, mouths shut, and listen to the students who went through this. You were alive when Columbine happened. You were alive when other school shootings happened. Heck, you were alive when Virginia Tech happened. And you are gonna go, and I never heard you say that Columbine survivors were liars, Virginia Tech survivors are liars. You're just going up to Parkland because they're actually doing something right. And you're just upset because you're the board member of the NRA. They're not taking guns away from the good people and the responsible people. They're just taking guns away from the mental ill and ex-cons. That's it. If you open your ears and close your mouth and stop making these rude comments on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all these social medias that you have, and you go on a radio station, listen to what they're saying instead of talking and talking and talking and talking about what you don't know about. I bet you didn't hear what David Hogg said. I bet you didn't hear what Emma Gonzalez said. You were just too lazy and too stupid. Yeah, I'm going to call you stupid right now. You're just too freaking stupid to just keep your mouth open and your ears closed and be like, I don't care. They're still liar, mushy, brain, stupid, soulless children to me when they're not. And I hope that Parkland teenagers are still on your butt about it till you apologize. Because I have not. I've been on Twitter and I've been on your page and I have not seen an apology. And that's just upsetting. That just proves how an immature adult you are. That just proves it so much. Because no one deserves to be called that way and bullied that way. And no one especially deserves to be in a school where they think it should be safe and parents think they would be safe and be in a shooting like that. if a news anchor woman was able to apologize to David Hogg for what she said on Twitter, I think you'd be able to because you're a grown man. But no, if you're not able to do that, clearly you're a 5-year-old bully and you shouldn't be a board member of the NRA since you're 5. Because that's basically how it is right now. You're just acting like a horrible person. And I feel bad for your family members because they have to be like, oh, great, my brother or my son did this. That's just very upsetting. All I'm saying is, if any of you guys did not listen to David Hogg's or Emma Gonzalez's interview, please, please listen closely to their interviews. Keep your mouth shut, open your ears, and listen closely about what the campaign is about. Because clearly Ted did not. But I think 45 of you guys who watch my videos are able to do that because I believe in you guys. So, yep, that's my rant for the night because it's nighttime here. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Smash that thumbs up button. Comment down below what you guys would like to see next after I make a reaction to cringy. Well, just make a comment down below what you guys like to see next. Press that red rectangle subscribe button and push on my post notifications to see whenever I upload next. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.